Okay, so the base of a triangle is represented with that expression, and the height is represented with the other one. Okay? Find the area of a triangle. That triangle that those dimensions create. So, what's the area of a triangle? Just remind me. So it's the base times the height divided by 2 or multiply it by 1/2. I'm going to multiply by 1/2 because I think that's nice. What's the matter? This is the same thing. Look. Right? How do you multiply fractions? You see? Top times top, bottom times bottom. I ain't pulling any wizardry here. It's just some math. Everybody okay? Same thing. Same thing. I'm choosing to multiply by the half because I think that's going to keep the 2 out of the denominator. Okay? Just keep it out front. So it doesn't complicate our solution at all. Okay? Okay. So let's go. Oh, yeah, I need that, don't I? Okay. So the base. The base is going to be 1/2, and we're going to multiply that by 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 over x squared minus x minus 12 multiplied by x squared minus x minus 2 divided by 2x squared minus 5x plus 2. Okay.
Is this Jacob's question?
Yeah, it's in the review there. Number 2. Okay. Like I said, if you could do this one, like I think some of those more complicated simplifying ones with the multiplication or division should be okay. We'll do an addition subtraction one too, just to cover our basis, and maybe a graphing question. We should be good. Okay, and we should have some time to work today. Okay. So when we tackle these questions, what's the first thing that I do? Like in the process of simplifying, what's your first step all the time? It's just factor, right? Right out of the gate, you just factor. So I don't know, number these things. Do that in any way that you feel you're going to be successful with. Again, I just been trying to communicate that like I'm going to try and do some of the factoring work off to the side to conserve some space. So in number 1, I'm just looking for 2 numbers that multiply to -6 and add to 5. So that to me sounds like what? Gabe?
6 -1.
Yep. And then just be careful with what number 1 is. It's not a simple trinomial. So you got to decompose, right? You're going to get 2x squared minus an x plus 6x minus 3. I'm decomposing that middle term up. So be careful. It's just a complex trinomial, but you got to factor it like a complex trinomial. So factor the x out. What is happening today? I'm struggling. My goodness. Okay. Switch factors to x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. Everybody okay? Okay, so that's going to replace number 1. So if I'm building down here, I'm going to get the 1/2 out front. Don't lose that. Okay, that's from the area equation. You're going to multiply in the number 1 now. It's x plus 3 times 2x minus 1 in the numerator. Okay, here I'll just try and keep this aside as we go down the page. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is nice because it's a simple trinomial, right? So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to -12 and add to -1. Okay, what do we got? Gabe? Just yell it out. Let's get 2. 3 and what?
-4.
3 and -4 sounds okay. Okay, and that has to be multiplied against what? Well, we get to factor number 3 now.
X minus 2, x plus 1.
Okay, good. So multiply to -2 and add to -1. We get -2 and 1. Everyone agree? Okay, and number 4. Number 4 is a complex trinomial, so just be careful. It's going to require that decomposition again. So multiply to 4 and add to -5. That sounds like what? Is that okay? So then that's going to decompose. We're going to get 2x squared minus 4x minus x plus 2. 2x, x minus 2. And then minus 1 x minus 2. Is that okay? Okay, so just mark, maybe for your own sake, just for the sake of space here, like I am a little tight, mark this. Okay, that's the one you're coming back to state your restrictions. So just mark it. We'll keep going down the page, but you're coming back to that one to state the restrictions. Okay? So at this point, you can do what? You start dividing stuff out, right? So x plus 3, x plus 3, x minus 2, x minus 2, 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1. So my simplified expression is going to be 1/2 times x plus 1 over x minus 4, where x can't equal -3, 4, 1/2, and 2. Okay, that's the area and simple. That's the answer to part A. Okay. Remember, factoring is the process by which you simplify these expressions. And you never, ever, ever expand the denominator. Because the denominator is home to the restrictions. And if you expand out the denominator, you lose sight of what those restrictions are. You going backwards. Sometimes in the numerator with the addition subtraction questions, you expand, collect like terms, get a new trinomial that you can factor, and you get additional cancellations that end up happening. So it's okay to expand in the numerator for the addition subtraction questions, but you never expand the denominator. Is that okay? Now, question B is just, I don't need to talk, like question B, I don't need to write anything. Explain the meaning of the restrictions on the variables in context. So obviously we know that they are values of x that break the equation from the standpoint that the denominator then becomes 0. Okay, but what does that mean in context to the area of the triangle? Gabe?
You can't exactly have no area of the triangle when you're trying to find the area of the triangle.
Yeah, so you can't really have an undefined area. That's kind of tough to have. What else? Yeah, you can't have an undefined area. Okay, what else? Anything else? What's polling solution say?